Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gora Premanandi Hariva. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 16. Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. Text 7. Titikshati akramam vainya Uparyakramatam api Bhutanam karuna shashvad Artanam shitivrittiman Titikshati akramam vainya Uparyakramatam api Bhutanam karuna shashvad Artanam shitivrittiman Titikshati akramam vainya Uparyakramatam api Bhutanam karuna shashvat Artanam shitivrittiman.
Satya Arkamam Maya
Titikshati tolerates akramam, offense. Vainya, the son of King Vena, Upari, on his head, akramatam, of those who are trampling. Api, also, bhutanam, to all living entities. Karuna, very kind-hearted. Shashwat, always. Artanam, to the aggrieved. Shittivrittiman, accepting the profession of the earth. Translation: this King Prithu will be very, very kind to all citizens. Even though a poor person may trample over the king's head by violating the rules and regulations, the king, out of his causeless mercy, will be forgetful and forgiving. As a protector of the world, he will be as tolerant as the earth itself. Purport. King Prithu is herein compared to the earthly planet as far as his tolerance is concerned. Although the earth is always trampled upon by men and animals, it still gives food to them by producing grains, fruits and vegetables. As an ideal king, Maharaj Prithu is compared to the earthly planet, for even though some citizens might violate the rules and regulations of the state, he will still be tolerant and maintain them with fruits and grains. In other words, it is the duty of the king to look after the comforts of the citizens, even at the cost of his own personal convenience. This is not the case, however, in Kali Yuga, for in Kali Yuga the kings and heads of the state enjoy life at the cost of taxes exacted from the citizens. Such unfair taxation makes the people dishonest, and the people try to hide their income in so many ways. Eventually the state will not be able to collect taxes and consequently will not be able to meet its huge military and administrative expenses. Everything will collapse and there will be chaos and disturbance all over the state. Prabhupada is making a prediction here. That's amazing, Prabhupada. How he can see the future, you know. This Omagyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore I offer my humble respect and obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I mean, the reciters, they are also foretelling the future. They are saying the king will be like this. He hasn't done it yet, he's just being enthroned as a king. But the reciters, they receive knowledge from the great sages who foretold the future activities of King Prithu, so that they will know that how to glorify him, you know. I mean, to glorify somebody you have to know the person, achievement and activities. And King Prithu just became a king, so he hasn't done much yet. But since the professional reciters, they got the knowledge about the king's future activity from great sages who are known as Trikalagya, who can see past, present and future, they were able to glorify him properly. Not just like sometime, you know, kings or government head, they hire what you call people who glorify them, although it's not true what they're saying. How you call that? A person who praise somebody who's being paid to do that, although the person is not really on that level. Huh? No. There's a word for that. Praiser, or paragenerist. That's the word. Okay. Praiser. Okay. Panegyrist. Okay. In Spanish, halagador. Halagador. Can you look for the word in English? Halagador. G. D-O-R. Huh? Flatterer. That's the word I was looking for, a flatterer. Thank you, Jamal. Very good. So a flatterer is different from what the professional, although they are professional reciter, but they are telling the truth. They are telling something that the great sages envisioned and they could see. So they were not flattering the king for something he haven't done, but who knows if he's going to do it in the future or not, you know? No. They knew for sure the king will be like that because great sages with spiritual vision, they could see that this is an empowered avatar of the Lord, not just any human being. And he's going to do wonderful activities. Tell you one story about flatterers. In previous times, kings used to hire flatterers in their court, and their professional activity will be, from time to time, they will flatter the king in front of all the assembly of ministers and guests, whoever. Oh, the king this and that. So the king will feel good about himself. So once a king was looking for a flatterer to hire, and many men showed up, you know, to get the job, and was a good paid job, you know. So it was such an important thing for the king that he himself interviewed each and every candidate. So the first one came, the king interviewed him, and the king told him, I think you'll not be able to do this job. No, I can't do it. I'm very, expert. Next one. And to the next one he said, I have my doubt that you will be able to do this job, frankly speaking. No, don't doubt me. I am very good. I'm very professional. The next one. And like that, like 10 men passed through. The last one, the king said, I have my doubt about your abilities to perform this job nicely. And the man said, I also have my doubts too. But no, I think you will be able to do it. Oh, I think also that I will be able to do it too. But wait a minute, I also have my doubt, maybe this and that. Yes, you're right. Hired. That's a flatterer. He goes along with you, whatever you say is right, Well, it's a profession, they have, the good ones, they know how to do it. But it's not the case here, This is real. This is real glorification of the avatar of the Lord. And it's such a very important, good quality of the king that he's very merciful and forgiving and forgetful. He doesn't keep grudge against his citizens, even if they trample over his head by violating the rules and the regulations. Still, he is forgiving. No? But that doesn't mean he will forgive everyone. Criminals who attack citizens, to rob them, they will be chastised, of course. But here he's talking about regular citizens who sometimes break a rule, so to speak, and they are remorseful about it, and they're sorry about it. So the king is forgiving. He gives them a chance to rectify themselves. No, because that's the position of a king, is like a father to the citizens. No, and a father should be, forgiving and kind to his children, although they may commit some time and proper activities. The father still doesn't lose his affection for his children. I mean, for example, if there's a fire in two houses, and in one of the houses there are the children of one man, and in the other houses there are also people and children. So if the man goes into the house where his children are to save first his children, nobody will blame him for saving his children and not saving the neighbor's children. It's natural he will first try to save his own children, naturally. No? In the same way, Krishna also, he promised to protect his devotees. Well, he told Arjuna to declare it loudly in the Bhagavad Gita. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Declare it loudly that my devotee will never be vanquished. Now the question may arise, why is asking Arjuna to say it and not saying it himself? And the reason is, people may doubt, some people, not devotees of course, but other people may doubt that since Krishna was at the point of breaking his promise not to fight in the war of Kurukshetra, he made such promise. He will not take any weapon, he will not fight anyone. He made his promise. But when Arjuna was being attacked fearlessly, by Bhishma was attacking him very fiercely. So Arjuna was desperate. He was wounded all over. And why Bhishma attacking so strongly Arjuna? There is a story behind. The story is that Duryodhana will always tease Bhishma, you are not a real Kshatriya. You still love your grandchildren, the Pandavas, and that's why you are not fighting with all your might against them. You are a joke of a Kshatriya. He will always try to make him angry, all the time, teasing him to make him angry. And Kshatriyas, when they become angry, Unless Krishna was trying to do the same with Arjuna also, to make him angry to fight. People would think you are a coward. You just run out of here. They will not praise you because you're kind. They will think you're a coward. So he's trying to make him angry. Otherwise, how he can fight if he's not angry? Now, anger can be used in Krishna's service. I mean, Hanuman used his anger to burn the city of Sri Lanka, isn't it? So anger can be used in the Lord's service. Anyway, so one day Bhishma could not tolerate anymore the teasing of Duryodhana about doubt about his Kshatriya spirit, that he became so angry he took five arrows and told Duryodhana, these 5 arrows are empowered with 5 powerful mantras. With these 5 arrows, tomorrow I'm going to kill each and every one of the Pandavas. Duryodhana was in ecstasy. He was rolling in the ground. He was so happy. And Bhishma gave him the 5 arrows. Keep the 5 arrows with you. Tomorrow morning you will give them to me and I will do it. Duryodhana couldn't sleep out of excitement, He was so excited that finally his dream will come true. He will become the king. But then, of course, Krishna's omniscient knows everything. He asked Arjuna, go to Duryodhana's camp tonight and ask him to give you these 5 arrows he has. And why he should give them to me? Oh, you don't remember. But once you saved the life of Duryodhana, and he promised you to give you anything you wanted, and you said you will ask it in the future. How he saved his life? You know? When the Pandavas were in exile in the forest, Duryodhana wanted to go to see them suffering and have a good laugh at them. So he went there with Karna and all his, soldiers, and, he wanted to see Bhima, starving and having difficulty find food in the forest. He wanted to enjoy others' suffering. No? That's the materialistic mentality. If I see others suffering, I enjoy. If I see others enjoying, I suffer. I envy them. Anyway, so when he went to the forest with his army and everything, there was a Gandharva taking bath in the river with his wives. He came from celestial planet, and all the noise and that the chariots made and the forest that disturbed the peacefulness of the forest, and the Gandharva was also disturbed. So he came out and challenged Duryodhana to fight. So there was a fight. When a Kshatriya is challenged, he can't deny, otherwise he will be considered a coward. So Duryodhana had to fight him. And the Gandharva was coming, with celestial weapons and everything. He killed all the soldiers and defeated him. Karna had to flee wounded. He fled, he left his friend alone. And Duryodhana was tied up with a rope as a prisoner. So one of the wounded soldiers went to the camp of the Pandavas and told them, Duryodhana is a prisoner and the Gandharva may kill him. Please do something. And Bhishma and Arjuna said, he deserved it for coming to laugh at us. Let him, whatever he wants to do with him, let it be. But Yudhishthira Maharaj said, no. This is not like that. We are cousins. We may have differences amongst ourselves. But if a third party comes to disturb any of us, we should do something about it. So Arjuna, I want you to go and rescue Duryodhana from the Gandharva. So Arjuna obeyed his elder brother. He went and challenged the Gandharva. They have fought, and the Gandharva was pleased by Arjuna's chivalry and heroism. So he was defeated by Arjuna. So the Gandharva was happy that he found such a worthy warrior. So he made friendship with Arjuna, and he gave him gift, some celestial weapons. You may need to use them in the future. And here is your Duryodhana, you can take him. So and on the way, Duryodhana told Arjuna, today you saved my life. I am indebted to you. So please ask me anything you want. And Arjuna said, not right now, but in the future I will ask. So when they arrived at the camp, Arjuna asked his brother Yudhishthira, what should I do with Duryodhana? Just release him, let him go peacefully to his palace. So Krishna knows everything. So when Arjuna arrived at the camp of Duryodhana, he told him, remember that you promised me once I saved your life to give me something. Yes, what do you want? I want those 5 arrows. Duryodhana wanted to die, he was so disturbed. Anyway, next then Arjuna gave the 5 arrows to Krishna, and to Krishna dismantled them with mantras and broke them in pieces. So when Bhishma Deva arrived at the camp, he found Duryodhana, morose and he said when somebody is in a disturbed mental state. So he asked for the 5 arrows, said, they're gone. How that happened? Krishna knows everything. Anyway, so to enliven him a little, Bhishmadev told him, today I will fight with so much strength against Arjuna. I will force Krishna to break his promise. So he was enlivened again, you know. So that's why Bhishma was fighting very strongly against Arjuna. And then Arjuna was all wounded over with the arrows of Bhishma Dev. So Krishna became angry, stepped down from the chariot, took a broken wheel of another broken chariot, and was running to hit Bhishma with it. Now Arjuna was running after Krishna, trying to stop him by grabbing his leg. You have seen this painting, it's beautiful, no? And Bhishma is like that. It is my Lord coming for me. I mean, try to understand, Bhishma Dev is a pure devotee of the Lord. The question may arise why he was helping the Kauravas, who were enemies of the Pandavas and Krishna. No, it wasn't just because of money. The reason behind it is that he made a promise to his father, Maharaj Shantanu, because the father was very much worried about the future of the throne, since he will remain brahmachari for life. So to pacify his father, he promised him, anyone who will be on the throne, I promise you, I will protect them, I will, take care of them, whoever is in the throne. So because of that promise to his father, he was obliged to help the wrong party. And he knew they were wrong and sinful, and the Pandavas were right and pious. His heart was with the Pandavas, but he was obliged by the promise he made. No? So anyway, Krishna knows the heart of everyone. It's Bhavagrahi Janardana. So Krishna was at the point of breaking his promise, not just only because to protect his devotee Arjuna, but also to protect Bhishma Dev's word that he will break Krishna's promise. For Krishna was more important that his pure devotee's word will be more true than his own word. And then when Krishna was ready to do it, then the conch shell blew and the day ended, the sunset arrived, and after sunset they don't fight anymore. So by blowing the conch shell, that's the end of the fight for that day until the next day. So Krishna didn't break his promise, but he was at the point of doing it. So that's why Krishna tells Arjuna, you declare it. Because if his devotee declares it, Krishna is more obliged to fulfill the promise of his devotee than his own promise. Listen. Although at the end of the Kurukshetra war, Queen Kunti was praising Krishna that the star may fall from the sky, even the sun stopped shining, but your promise to protect your devotees will never fail, because he promised her that he will bring back her 5 sons alive after the war. So that happened. So naturally, and also when Bhishma Dev was in the bed of arrows, how they killed Bhishma Dev? By some trick, actually. I mean, he was so powerful. Prabhupada explained in the Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter that Arjuna in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev, he was like a tiny fig, could be crushed very easily by them. But because Krishna was on his side, he came out victorious. I mean, they were the super Kshatriyas, Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya. I mean, not even Parashurama could defeat Bhishma Dev, His guru, they had a fight. I will explain why they had the fight. Guru and disciple. The reason was that since Bhishma Dev remained brahmachari, So his brothers, Vichitravirya, became the king. But he needed to have a wife, so he was a little of a weak disposition. So Bhishmadev, he took the responsibility of finding wife for his younger brother. So he went to a king's palace who was going to find husbands for his daughters. He had 3 daughters. So Bhishmadev arrived, defeated everyone, and took the 3 girls in his chariot and flew away. Then he arrived at the Kaurava's palace, and here is these 3 princesses for Vichitravirya. One of them protested, said, I think this is not just because I already gave my heart to one particular king. And for women, once they give their heart, it's very difficult to take it back. So Bhishmadev apologized, said, you should have told me that when we were there. Well, I was so frightened of you. He came like a thunderbolt, I couldn't hardly speak. Okay, I can take you right now to that king. So he took her to that king. The other 2 girls, princesses, wanted to marry Vichitravirya. They liked him. They wanted to get married to him. They didn't choose anybody yet. So when he took her to the king was very proud. He said, I'm not going to accept your remnants. You already conquered her. You took her away. I'm going to accept your remnants. Do you think I'm a dog? Take her away from here. So she was rejected by the king who she loved. So she was very upset. What was her name? Amba. So then she told Bhishmadev, then you should marry me. Bhishmadev told her, but I can't marry you. I made a vow of being brahmachari for life. Well, you kidnapped me, you took my hand. It is your duty to do it. I said, I'm very sorry, I can't do that. I can find you another husband if you want. No, either you or... So, of course, Bhishmadev didn't agree. Then she went to his guru. Who was his guru? Guru in arms. Not the spiritual, Parashuram. So she went to Parashuram to complain about his disciple. Your disciple this to me is unjust, and he called his disciple, Bhishmadev, told him, you must marry her. Gurudev, do you know that I made a promise in front of God, in front of all the devatas, that I will remain brahmachari for life? How can I break my promise? The Guru said, then if you're not gonna accept my order, then you have to have a fight with me. If you win, I will release you. But if I defeat you, you have to marry her. So they had a fight. And Bhishmadev won the fight against Parashuram. So the Guru blessed him. Okay, you may remain brahmachari all your life. But then Amba became angry. She could not fulfill her desire. So she was worshipping Lord Shiva to get revenge, So she did a lot of severe austerities, and, So Lord Shiva appeared to her, and she asked her boon. She wanted to kill Bhishmadev. So Shiva told her, but you'll not be able to do it in this life, but in the next life, you will be able to do it. You will be able to be the cause of his death. So, So she immediately made a fire and entered the fire. She wanted immediate revenge, not to wait too long. So she was born as Shikandi, a warrior, a male, but she could remember her past life. So she kept the anger against Bhishmadev to take revenge. So, that's an actual story of transgender. Because, he was born with the mentality of a woman, although he had the body of a man. Her mind is, because of past life, she could remember her past life. Nowadays, it's all a joke, they just not, Not because they remember past life or anything like that, just rascaldom. Anyway, they knew that, so somebody advised them that the only way to kill Bhishmadev, if you put Shikandi on the front of Arjuna's chariot, because Bhishmadev knew that Shikandi was Amba in past life, and she kept the same mentality. Well, didn't have the mentality of a man, but a woman. So although he had the body of a man, he knew she was a woman because the mentality was of a woman. I mean, of course, he hesitated to kill Shikandi, and then Arjuna took the opportunity that Bhishmadev wasn't fighting, so he started throwing arrow at him and, filled his body with arrows all over. But he got the blessing from his father, Maharaj Shantanu, that he will die at will, not before. So he was in a bed of arrows. Arjuna made a bed of arrows, so his grandfather can lay down, on the arrows. He was a big Kshatriya warrior. And he didn't want to die until he wanted to see that his grandson, the Pandavas, will be victorious. He wanted to die after being sure that they will, and getting Krishna's blessing before departing, So, when after the war of Kurukshetra, Yudhishthir Maharaj was very much aggrieved. He was very much aggrieved that so many people had to die for him to become a king. Yes. Elephants and also animals and human beings. So, he went to, Krishna tried to pacify him, speaking him, transcendental knowledge. He wasn't pacified. Then Vyasadeva came, tried to pacify him also with knowledge and quote from Shastra. He wasn't pacified, even by Vyasadeva. Then Krishna advised him, go to Bhishmadev. He can advise you. So he went to Bhishmadev to ask for advice. But then Draupadi protested. He said, now you are eager to speak. But when I was disrobed in the vicious assembly, you didn't utter a word. And now you are very eager to speak. She protested. And Bhishmadev told her, you are right, my dear. I didn't speak a word because I was being maintained by them. I was eating their food, so I couldn't speak. But now all this food came out of my body in the form of blood. Now I can speak. That's in the Mahabharata. So then he instructed the Yudhishthir Maharaj, and he was pacified. He was, calm. He calmed him down. And now the question, how is that possible? Because Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. He wanted to give all the credit to his pure devotee Bhishmadev that was able to pacify Yudhishthir Maharaj. So as Paramatma, he didn't allow Yudhishthir Maharaj to be convinced, nor by Vyasadeva, nor by himself. He wanted that Bhishmadev take the credit. So Krishna is more anxious to see his devotees glorified than himself, because the loving relationship that he has with them. All right, I'm going to stop here. If any comment or questions? Yes. Please do. Yes. Nope.
It's interesting because, especially for us who have, let's face it, a lot of difficulty sometimes pronouncing the Sanskrit for the verses.
Yes, true.
So, but if we do it with feeling, then Krishna will accept. Like we chant Hare Krishna. There's a story how Tamal Krishna Maharaj went to China, and he was teaching, how to chant Hare Krishna, but they have trouble with the R's.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So one of his disciples there was pleading, what should I do, what should I do? Just keep on chanting Krishna Bhava Grahi Janardana. And Krishna accepts the mood, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
exactly for mispronunciation. That's what the verse is about, mispronunciation.
Oh.
Murko vadadi Vishnaya. Diro vadadi Vishnave. Ubayos tu samam punyam bhava grahi janardana. This is from the Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Oh.
I'm not sure who's speaking here, but probably Lord Chaitanya, but I'll read this translation. It's a little explanatory translation. At the time of offering obeisance to Vishnu, a foolish person chants Vishnaya Namaha. This is improper due to faulty grammar.
Oh.
Normally it's aya for a vocative, right? But there's some exceptions, like Vishnu. Vishnu should be. This is faulty due to grammar. And a learned person chants Vishnave, which is correct. But both achieve equal piety by their offering of obeisance because Lord Janardhan sees the sentiment of the living being. In other words, he sees the degree of devotion, or in other words, he awards the result accordingly. He doesn't see one's foolishness or intelligence. So that's the whole, it's about
Wonderful.
mispronunciation.
Wonderful.
Which is what the word mlecha means. Mlecha means one who cannot pronounce Sanskrit correctly.
Melecha means
That's
that.
that's the primary meaning.
Okay. Now we know why we are all Melechas. Okay. All right. Thank you, Prabhu, for your nice comment. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Haribo.